Hi guys, I'm Saumya and I'm back again with another video. I hope you're all well and safe. So if you are an old subscriber, then welcome back. But if you are new to this channel, then I make a lot of bookish content. So if you are a book lover and a reader, then do hit that subscribe button and don't forget to click on the bell icon. So in today's video, I am going to review a book which was sent to me by the author, and that book is The Granddaughter Project by Shaheen Chishti. So let's get into the video. Three women from different cultural backgrounds and from different ethnicities write letters to their granddaughters to share their stories and to impart some life lessons to their granddaughters and also put a lot of things into perspective for them. So these three women are Kamla, Helga and Lynette. Kamla is Indian, Helga is Viennese and Lynette is West Indian. So these three women come from culturally and racially different backgrounds and from different parts of the world, but their sufferings kind of bind them together and they form unlikely friendships with each other. Kamla meets Helga in 1970 and she meets Lynette in 1981, and because of Kamla, the other two women meet as well. And they write letters to their three granddaughters. Kamla's granddaughter is Maya, Lynette's granddaughter is Tanya, and Helga's granddaughter is Rebecca. So these three women, Kamla, Helga and Lynette, share some very harrowing experiences in their letters with their granddaughters. Kamla lived through the Bengal famine of 1943, Helga lived through the Holocaust, and Lynette talks about the Notting Hill race riots of 1958. And in addition to that, they share their personal experiences as well, which they had to face because of being women, inequality, sexual harassment, other challenges that they had to face, men who broke their heart and how they literally ripped their lives apart. So these women share these stories with their granddaughters, and what's more is that none of the three granddaughters see this communication coming. They do not expect these letters from their grandmothers, and initially they're a bit skeptical and not completely interested in reading these letters, but as they read these letters, these women get connected to their grandmothers. So now if I talk about my experience of reading this book, so the one thing that I must say is that this is a truly great book. I literally flew through this book. I was able to read it in a single sitting because there was no other option for me. I just had to know what the letters were all about, what was going to happen next, and I had to know the stories of these three women, and so I just could not put this book down. I was literally helpless in that regard. Also, the events in the story that take place are so tragic and devastating and triggering at times, and yet for me it was nearly impossible to stop reading this book. And this book really focuses on the issues faced by these women, and as a woman I was able to resonate with this book on such a deep level. Needless to say, I ended up forming an emotional and a sentimental connection with all the characters in this book, with the grandmothers and as well as the granddaughters. The granddaughters exist in very different circumstances from their grandmothers, and they don't face such amount of inequality as their grandmothers did, but it's not like that they don't have their challenges. Their challenges are more subtle on the surface, but they still exist, and I was able to relate to that as well. This book is pretty much all encompassing when it comes to talking about the issues and challenges faced by women, even in different time periods. You can tell by the way the story has been written that it has been written with a lot of compassion as well. It's just something you cannot miss out on. Kamla, Helga and Lynette form this unlikely friendship, and they share this sense of solidarity with each other, and while reading this book I felt this sense of solidarity with all the characters in this book as well. Although this book consists of letters where the grandmothers are addressing their granddaughters, I must say that there were some passages that were speaking directly to me, and when you connect with a book on such a personal level, you know that it is really working out for you. And usually when I review a book, I talk about the portions of the book that really stood out to me. In case of this book, it is very difficult to pinpoint one part of the book that I especially liked, because I liked the entire experience of reading this book. So I will say that this book as a whole stood out to me in terms of the reading experience I derived out of it. So if you like to read books and you like to read good books, then The Granddaughter Project should be on your TBR, guys. It definitely should be. And now if I talk about the way this book has been written, I would say that the language of this book is absolutely marvelous. It is simple and yet impressive at the same time, and it is the beautiful and the wonderful language of this book that really does the wonder in terms of making this a book that you can read in a single sitting. This is what a great great read looks like. It gives you the complete experience of a good book in the form of an indelible and an unforgettable story which has been written with a lot of love and empathy. When you pick this book up, prepared to be amazed by how beautiful the story is, but at the same time also be ready for a cry fest that is going to ensue. I love this book and I totally recommend this book. In fact, I feel that if you do not read this book, then you will be missing out on something really good. So please go for this book. I highly recommend it, and if you want to check this book out, which you definitely should, the link will be in the description box for that. So that's it. That was my review of The Granddaughter Project by Shaheen Chishti. I hope you found this review useful. If you want to connect with me on my social media, the links are in the description box. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, bye bye, take care and stay safe.